real estate ownership and injection is still used today in credit decisions for loan approvals. So African Americans are 30% less likely to own their own home than not. There's a gap there. So in order to bridge the gap, I see that came up with a program called the African American Guarantee Advancement Program. The initials are AGAP, and it's going to bridge the gap. And what it is the banks, the SBA basically stay in business. So the SBA says, if you guys follow these guidelines, we'll provide that. We're going with the stronger applicants, and that's still considered a risk that a lot of lenders, it's still too much for them to risk. But if there was an additional guarantee, if they were to follow these SBA guidelines, and remember the bank, they have to maintain status with the SBA department and won't be able to make SBA loans anyway. So usually within banks, there's a less than a 5 to 10% default rate within the SBA loans in general. So the idea is for the city to invest that extra 20% into an account to ensure the bank, now the bank is guaranteed at, and if a borrower were to be questionable, the bank would be a lot more motivated to actually make that loan and be able to approve them in a faster, basically. And the city would, the applicant would be qualified, through the city, and it could be a business that is within that city. The bank, a great applicant for this program and to qualify, and we're willing to make this loan. Then the city would say, okay, well, we'll put in an account the other 20% to be used in the case of default. So if this loan defaults, you have the SBA guarantee, and then you have the extra city guarantee of the 20%. However, if the loan does not go into default, that money is not used and then can then roll over to basically serve as an extra guarantee or advancement. Agents are still in place. It's a great way for the city, whatever that's good for $1 million of additional guaranteed money for businesses to go back into the city. But if those loans do not default, which we don't intend to, and we don't make loans in order to default, then that money would roll over within a certain time period, let's say 24 to 36 months, and the city says, and the bank says, this loan is good. And businesses to support Black businesses within the city. So are there any questions?
We're not agendized for any action in anything, so we'll have to take it and take a look at it. Mm-hmm. But Jason will have the
things with regard to COVID. What I was really looking for is direction from you guys to proceed. It'll be come back at a later, craft a program that works for both the bank, the business community, and the city, and then bring that forward to you guys as a complete package for your final approval.
Jason, can't we wait until after, if the sales tax is approved, the extension on that, then we could move forward with this program?
We have the ability to
incentive for us to do that with, and then we would have the extra money to do it with.
I have a question. Mr. What's your last name? Roquist?
Rock.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at Rock. All right. Mr. Rock, while the money, the 20% is sitting in the bank for the loan, are we making any type of interest on that at all? Are we making any money, or is it just a guarantee? What is it?
I guess that would be the decision of the bank. They have assigned a tax team to make sure that everything, how it would have to be put in place to where it's abiding by all bank and federal and city regulations of that nature. But we would obviously want something in place to where it was very advantageous. Myself, I'm not a specialist in the account side. I'm more of the SBA 7A and the 504 loan specialist.
Okay. So what you're saying is the loans that will be presented to us is basically will be type A loans that you believe that would be good loans, but for whatever reason they just don't get the loans in the bank.
Yes, we wouldn't do a loan, not so good SBA loans, and the SBA does not want to see a lender away. So the bank, regardless of the additional guarantee, wouldn't the injection for the borrower, and then also in that it closed the gap to where some of the loans require additional real estate collateral, and they might not have that, but they have everything else. With this additional guarantee, we would still be able to approve the loan.
Okay.
So Ryan, that's Kent. Typically, I've got some familiar SBA loans. So predominantly, this would be a group.
The real estate asset, the loan may be a $500,000 loan. They may have a real estate asset, but that real estate asset just still doesn't have enough equity in it to.
Got it.
So it would help bridge that gap.
Got it.
And the way I see it is also for the city, I see a great opportunity to protect their investment to, if it was a business in where we make the loan, the city knows what business that is, and they could actually contract with that business and say, well, we want to require you to deliver lunches for our city, twice a week or something like that, to where they could pretty much ensure, kind of protect their investment with the entities in place already around the city. The way I see it, if I were to look at it and go, if I were to provide a extra guarantee for a business, I would be eating there or going there and making sure that they stayed in business.
This is where Allison pops up and lets us know if that's possible.
We'll have to take a look.
SBA loan default ratio anyway. But our goal is to get more of these applicants that are on the borderline or fall just short approved.
So if we guarantee this 20% of the loan, can we get a point back of the business?
A point back of the business?
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
He's went into lawyer mode. Yeah. Okay.
It can be discussed. The program is it's not solidified at this point.
I'm actually quite serious about it. We're doing some major deals with companies and getting a piece of it back. They like it because we're invested at that point. You got to get in the game.
I tell you what, I like it.
Yeah, I don't think any business would turn it down. They would be happy to give Lancaster a piece of whatever it is that you're asking, just because
come from the bank.
You got skin in the game, and it would help ensure their viability.
Okay. And I'm not sure why I'm troubled by it, but what I don't want to do is leave any elephants in the room that we don't address.
Well, as long as they join the Black Chamber of Commerce, they have access to what we're doing.
Damn, that's good, Cedric.
Yeah, so we don't want to leave anybody out, but as the Black Chamber of Commerce, our members are mostly Black. So we're advocating for the members in our chamber, but we're also here to serve the business community. So if they want to join the chamber for $60 because of the COVID crisis we're going through, they're more than welcome to apply for the SBA loan. These are relationships that we're building, and these are people that we're bringing to the table, to the city of Lancaster, and we want everybody to prosper. We want to bring tax dollars into the city, and we want businesses to grow within the city so everybody in the city can benefit.
It's just, when is it appropriate to be making decisions? You know, it really makes us look at stuff. But I know that that's what people watching this, some of them are thinking. And I have people, I don't think we end up working at cross purposes for what we're trying to accomplish. So calculate that in, Jason, and how we're going to have this discussion. But I like it. I'm just not sure yet about how we deal with those issues. And I'll look to Daryl to guide us in that. I mean, because you know, it's not something I can see, you know. So maybe we should schedule some kind of workshop for that. But let's have a decision in the next 30 days. Can we do that, Jason?
Yeah, it should be pretty quick turnaround time, and I've been working closely with these guys already, so we can put our heads together and start making stuff happen.
Okay.
I think if we have some comparable numbers too from Mr. Ryan about loans that may have been looked over, a past loan was approved, this one wasn't, and you tend to find out what's going on behind the scenes. You hear the term a lot. I think this is the perfect time to address it now that America is talking about something that they thought, you know, is not really here. I think a lot of things are being caught on camera right now that people thought went away. And I think this is a good time, like you said, to address it, address the elephant in the room. I'm just like you. Let's not run from it because you don't want to, you know, me and Marvin have homes now. So we need evidence and we need science to really prove what we're saying is true and not just a fallacy or people say it's just in our minds. And with the banker being here, he can come up with numbers to prove these are comparable things of what has happened. This is what is normally done.
And had a example of one young lady from the valley, from Antelope Valley. She was a nurse. Well, Ryan, go ahead and tell them the story. I don't want to.
Yeah, well, I mean, as soon as I saw this program, I thought of, and remember, I've been doing this for over a decade, and this is just what I've seen. So I'm just addressing a need from what I've seen, and I can, you know, count the number of loans that I've done for to start addressing why. And I had a young lady actually from Antelope Valley just within the last year are good loans, and they provide the training and whatnot, and everything about it looked good, but she just wasn't strong enough on the real estate collateral side. And she just made the injection. So she was on the borderline. With this program, we would have done it no problem. If the guarantee was 95 instead of 75, my bank would have done it no problem. But also, I'm not just speaking from the terms of my bank. I've worked for 5 different lenders, so I've seen throughout the industry. But that was the specific example, and it just happened to be in Lancaster, which was interesting to me when this came about. And actually, if this goes through, I will be calling her and seeing if she's still available, because it was a loan that I would have loved to do. And I'm going, man, it was too risky for them to, that 25% was just a risk that they just weren't willing to take.
Well, they must have algorithms by now that pretty much tell you who's going to pay back the loan and who's not, don't they?
Yes, you know, they have they have, the SBA has algorithms to where the bank follows, and then the bank even takes it a step further and says, well, we're comfortable within these boxes, lending within these parameters. But the SBA or anyone can't stop anyone from cherry picking. No one's going to say, well, they're a little more risky, but we're going to go with that person instead of this person. So it's always going to pick from what they have is what I'm seeing. And if she would have had.
All right. I like it. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. I think what I really like is if we were partnering with the Black Chamber and the city got a piece of the business back, that just makes a whole lot of sense. And as long as we're not making it racially dependent, you know, if it's just membership in the Black Chamber, I don't see where I have a significant issue with it. But I think we all have to talk about it and see where we go with it. Any other comments?
I had to look and say, why am I not lending?
Everybody for allowing us to present to you, and hopefully we'll be talking soon.
Yeah, you will.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate the time.
All right, y'all be safe. Thank you.
You know, I messed up my computer here and I can't see things. I got to figure it out.
We can see you.
What?
We can see you.
Yeah, but I can't see me. And, you know, that's scary.
Can't say who's making face.
I think I may just go out and rejoin. How's that? Does that make sense?
It does, but I think if you just click off the where you're at.
That screen's not coming up. It says I can leave it.
Are you trying to get to gallery view to see everyone?
Yeah.
Upper right-hand corner. It should say speaker view right now. And if you click on it, you can switch over to gallery.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, guys.
Evelyn.
I'm going to come back. I'm back. Great. Okay, everything's good. Thank you. What do we have next?
M1.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
We have to do a roll call vote.
Even for approving the minutes? All
Yep.
right, let's call the roll.
City Council Member Doris,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris,
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes. Okay. Consent
Passes
calendar.
unanimously.
Anything it passes unanimously. Is there anything on the consent calendar to be removed?
We do need to remove CC4
How come?
because Councilmember Mann needs to recuse himself on that item due to the proximity of the property in question to property he owns.
You know,
Motion to approve the consent calendar as currently comprised, pulling CC4.
Second that.
all in favor? Oh, we got to do the roll call. Go ahead.
Did you all also want me to go ahead? At this time, anyone wishing to comment on the consent calendar, please press *9. I will announce the last 4 digits of your calling number when it is your turn to speak. Please state your name and eliminate any background noise. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please press *9 at this time. Caller with the last 4 7232, please state your name and you may begin speaking.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Chris, and Vice Mayor and staff.
I'm sorry, Fran, if you could, please, you might have your your television on. Could you mute it? We're hearing the feedback from it.
Yeah, okay, I muted my television.
Okay.
I just have a question. You just, CC4, you are not going to vote on that today, and you put it aside, but I'm confused. I thought this on Jack Reynolds, the Jack Reynolds Park, I thought that was all paid for and done with, or is this particular phrasing? Because it states here public
Mayor
construction.
Parrott, you're muted.
Somebody help us
18
out. Can you help her out, Jason?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. She's absolutely right. This is the item, although is the acceptance of a number of different improvements, one of which is included in the skate park. The other is a number of different sidewalk improvements, things around the community. So this is The only reason it wasn't on this is
What were repaired around there? Are you talking about the sidewalks in the neighborhood?
the item on the agenda is to accept the improvements, which means the city has inspected them and approved them and is willing to pay the final bill to the contractor to finish the project.
Okay, got it. That's what I was asking. That's what I kind of thought it was. Okay, just verifying. Thank you very much. Talk to you later. Thank you. God bless you all. Bye.
There are no other speakers at this time for the consent calendar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you call the roll, please?
City Council Member Doris?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Mann?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris?
Yes.
Mayor Paris?
Yes.
Mayor, point of clarification on CC4. In January, I updated my Form 700, and I no longer own any property in the downtown area.
Is that a reflection of your?
The Shriners Hospital.
Okay.
Now, I will say, Allison, my church is literally a half a mile from that place. Is that
clear about the properties that I do have in the city?
Okay, so you can stay in and vote. Is there a motion?
Member Doris?
yes?
Molly?
Yes.
Mann?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris?
Yes.
Mayor Paris?
Yes. Passes unanimously. Moving on to new business, item 1. Who's handling that?
I'll do the introduction and Allison can handle the details. Attached is the introduction of an ordinance that establishes the Social Justice and Equity Commission. I will make a note that if in your amendment, add the equity part, we missed that in the ordinance itself. We can make that small edit today. Is the establishment of the ordinance that commission. It'll follow all the same rules and regulations associated with other commissions. Again, today is the introduction of that ordinance. You're not approving who's going to be on that commission. You will be approving that commission at a later date when the ordinance becomes.
For the city, subject to the appointed by the mayor and subject to approval by the council for the members, as well as the chairmanship of the commission. And when a motion is made, if made, I would ask that it include the change to Social Justice and Equity Commission, as I understand now that's the requested title.
Actually, I think we should call it the Social Equity Commission because I don't want to confuse. We have a Justice Commission, and I don't want to confuse the two.
So Social Equity Commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just so there's a clear distinction. Any comments?
I got a couple of comments, and please forgive me. Years of marriage, and I want to stay married, so. I love the idea of an equity commission. I just need some clarity on some things because I did meet a couple of the young people, Mayor, with you. Here's I don't want to call it a concern. Here's the input that I'd like to get from you guys. And number 2, I guess my concern was if it's an equity commission, it needs to still make sure it's said about the Black Chamber. If we have all African Americans or all Hispanics on it or all Asian Americans on it, it's not truly equitable according to its name.
More to African Americans, but this thing has grown out of Black Lives Matter, so it probably should be weighted that way. We're in a transition time.
Okay.
Things are changing. And I'm troubled by so much of this. I can't really, with how people are pulled over and stuff. What's the big deal if you didn't do anything wrong? But in talking to this group, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks that there's a lot wrong with that. That we can't have a city where 20% of the population is feeling oppressed. And And I think that the reality is that does occur. And I think it occurs for very good reasons. I mean, you know, if I was a police officer, it was my job to catch criminals. I could see why that might occur. I can also, when I was talking to these folks, you know, somebody, a robbery suspect or some other suspect, you know, and I realized when he said that he did. Of course he did. The only identifying feature they had was a black male. You know, I mean, would you pull me over if it was a white suspect? That's it. There's an acceptance of that. And up until now, the mayor did accept it as a necessary evil. But I don't think so anymore. And this is why I don't think so. I think that when we make these decisions, we have to weigh things, and we have to weigh what is the benefit of this versus what is the detriment of this? What is the cost of this? And I think there's a huge cost that when that cost is greater than the benefit that we might achieve by any reduction in crime we see. And so I want this commission there to start addressing those things. And I don't want them to be addressing it, and they know this, as an anti-police or as an attack on the police in any way. It's primarily just to get people on the same page. What's fair? Once we determine that this is how we want our city to live, then what do we have to do to make that happen? What are the causative factors that come into play? And, you know, and like it occurred to me, the simplest thing is, would you pull a white guy over with this information? You know, I mean, that's a pretty easy test. Right. I mean, conceptually, not in application. And so we're going to be working on that with the Sheriff's Department as to what changes, what adjustments are we going to make so that we have a level of fairness we haven't had in the past. And also I want to be very clear, my willingness to put a lot of energy into this issue was how well they performed during the Black Lives Matter demonstrations in Lancaster. I mean, they treated us with a great than there was in Palmdale. Let's call it the way it was. And I think that has earned them a seat at the table.
Jason and I were at a lot of those protests. And
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet. You know, the Criminal Justice Commission is designed to catch crooks, right?
Right.
To make us safe. This is more designed to how we go about it, you know, and what are the trade-offs.
All right.
And, you know, I want to really clear, I mean, I'm not even thinking about what I'm hearing on the news that LA is talking about. You know, it's not even on my radar screen, and I don't think it's on your radar screen. But I think that this is an opportunity, because we're all focused on it, to change the way the world is in Lancaster in a way that we still are proceeding to become a safer community, but a more equitable community. And that's the goal. And I can understand people's reluctance that, you know, because we hear so much stuff on the news that really isn't what we're doing here. But, you know, I like these people that we're considering putting on. And I think they have a lot to add. And I think you're going to like them too.
Me and you met with a lot of them, and in Lancaster, the way that it's.
Yes, I did.
I was loud when I met you.
Yeah, they don't hesitate to let me know what they're thinking and feeling. But I'm beginning to trust them, and I hope you do too. So, what do we do with the people that I'm proposing? And that's why we call it a democracy. But we are putting a lot of effort into it. And, you know, I'd really like to thank Heather Varden. And
to your question while you're while you're thinking?
Yeah.
You asked, we are to.
Oh, Nigel, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nigel. I just had a brain block. Heather and Nigel have done a tremendous job putting this thing together, and also in keeping the focus where it should be, and making it. I made it very clear. I'm not interested in talking about things we can't change, and I'm not interested in talking about things that aren't going to happen. There has to be a clear path.
Mayor, we are tonight considering introduction of Ordinance 1075, and then it will come back at the next council meeting, assuming that introduction passes tonight, of course, and be considered for adoption.
Okay. Because I'm going to hear it eventually.
I would like to see us do it to the community as a whole. So if we look to give loans out to people, we should give loans out to good, hardworking people. And it shouldn't be a criteria whether they're black, brown, white. That shouldn't be it. And I think that's what we should be teaching everybody. I don't think that we're addressing that. I think that we're assuming a lot. I wasn't happy with the presentation that they gave last council. I know that we're going to explain to them how it actually works, but I don't think that's the way that a commission should actually start. I'm good to go with as far as the Social Equity Commission. It should be a representation, and we should start right off the bang with colors that all communities have, is that they have pacified people for way too long, and it's time to actually make some results. And I applaud you for what you're trying to accomplish and for the results that you're looking for. I don't see it with some of these people that you're putting on it, but that's another subject. So with that, I'll make the motion to approve NB1 and change the name to Social Equity Commission.
Is there a second?
Second it.
I'll second that motion.
I beat you to it.
Any other comments before we vote?
At this time, anyone wishing to comment on NB1, please press *9. I will announce the last 4 digits of your calling number when it is your turn to speak. Please state your name and eliminate any background noise. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please press *9 at this time. Caller with the last 4, 8119. Please state your name and you may begin speaking.
Now, before people speak on this, I want to remind people of what we tell our lawyers. When you've won, shut up. But go ahead. Any speakers?
With the last 4, 8119. Please state your name.
Hi, can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Now we can.
Hi, thank you. I did hear about the name change, and I did want to just, I know that you guys brought, we're not talking about criminals, we're talking about social justice for everybody, whoever they may be in Lancaster, and then identifying inequities in the city. But I'll just continue. I want to also thank the organizers and the activists in the community for their courage in marching, petitioning, and making their voices heard in local government in the way that we did it. I'm very proud of our city as well. This is the reason why I rise today and why I want to talk about this, not just as a proposed commissioner of change, but as a member of this community dedicated to justice and equity and a united Lancaster. We have an opportunity to change perspective of what it means to be a community leader in Lancaster. Today is the beginning of reimagining for our city and areas of the NAACP, the local NAACP branch, as a youth leader at the Holy Renaissance Center, where Christ and creativity in the state, not just it's not our country. So just to share with y'all, and it's just like we want to expand on things that are already being done in the city. I was able to be a part of Justice Sunday, where young people all over the Valley came together under the leadership of Commissioner Hawley and put on Deja Vu, play about learning the mistakes from learning about the mistakes that we made in the past, and when more at-promise youth have their work recognized by the local leaders and the issues that they have addressed. All of us who participated in Justice Sunday have kept in touch to this day, and now we're partnering with the Holy Renaissance Center to begin working on a next project for when the COVID-19 situation is all behind us and we can all come together in person as a community again. So this is just some of the things that are some of the city initiatives that are already happening, and these are this new diverse city commission can expand on those things, and there are many others, which is why we are ready to hit the ground running today. And you know,
caller with the last four.
This is Jacob Johnson, and of course, you know, I serve at the Growing Valley Church in Lancaster, and I want to first, it's good to see everybody doing well, and so thank God for that. And Equity Commission. I want you to know the seed of where this came from. I believe you all received some information from a press conference, and this was one of the things listed. The spirit of it is really to connect our community, to deal with some of the challenges we have, and then to help with some changes to come. And then this is a special opportunity. I agree with the previous speaker. This is a special opportunity for us to do something great. And in that, I think the city should go ahead with it, but prior to appointing people to do some research. City of Birmingham has I agree with Councilman Doris on the fact that you want to be equitable when using a name like Equity. And as is appointed, if you're appointed as such, to be involved. I was the representative for them in that, coming up with that list and whatnot. And I think we need to be inclusive, get the entire, because the goal is for the entire community to be included. And the reason why, lastly, we need something like this is because good, hardworking minorities, particularly African Americans, matter. And I think we have to remember that. That's why something like this is needed. And they were treated that way solely because of their color. And we know that as a community. So I total agreement with it. Many of us in the community are. However, we do think when you go to your next step, when it comes to who is on the committee. Thank you.
Oh, hi. My name is Giovanni Pope. I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you all so much for listening to our proposal at last meeting. And thank you to the mayor and city council for all that they have done to make this possible. So as you can probably tell, I am one of the presenters from last council meeting, and I just want to address something that Vice Mayor Christ said. I understand that the way in which this came was not necessarily ideal. However, I am just inspired by this city and the fact that we are a city of innovation for so many different reasons. And as a result of that, I know that we can be a city on the hill for innovation and equity as well. I think that it would personally be pretty powerful if we are trying to abbreviate the name to just be the Equity Commission or the Commission on Equity. Just because I think that that really encompasses our values, and it's easier for people to identify and understand, as I know that that's important with identifying oneself. And in addition to that, I just want to say that we are not trying to do this to pacify anyone. We are doing this to deliver the community, deliver to the communities equity that they have not seen for a long time. And I look forward to trying to make that goal easier to accomplish in the city of Lancaster. I know that with this, we are going to have to work hard to earn your trust. but that is something that we have tried to build over the past few months. As the mayor has stated, we were the ones that were doing the protests in Lancaster, and we worked extremely hard to make sure that those did not disrupt civil life here in Lancaster, but it got our point across. And I think that if we communicate our ideas in the exact same way as we did then, the work that we'll be able to accomplish at City Hall and within the city government of the city of Lancaster will be unlimitable. So with that, I just thank you for giving me the opportunity to propose this to you, and I cannot wait to see the amazing things that come of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Caller with the last 47232.
It troubles me somewhat. Is this group going to do to accomplish? Don't hear is what values are they going to bring to the community? How are they going to do what they think they say they're going to do? You want to put a group together, but what's going to happen? What are they going to do? What you're talking about? Forget about the race part of it, but you're talking about youngsters. You're talking about people that work in our community. You're talking about people that are trying to come and live in our community, and you're talking about our seniors, because you know I'm a very deep advocate for seniors. But the thing of it is, I haven't heard any tangible. But I still have some questions in mind, and I'll be working with you but I have to see something. I have to hear something that's going to help not just a handful of people. Anyway, I think I've already said too much. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Fran. So, Fran, how would you have felt if, when you wanted to get the senior center built, that I said, well, it doesn't really benefit the entire community, but it doesn't really benefit the entire community. It only benefits seniors.
Right. So you're absolutely right, and that's. But the thing of it is, the senior center works with a lot of people that are not. I know you're trying to say that I was just working with one particular age group or peoples, but that's because
what I'm saying is we are a community of many constituent parts,
right?
And the goal of a community is to merge all of those constituent parts in a way that's fair and creates an environment for people to thrive. I don't know that we can do that by ignoring the racial issues today. I mean, I don't think we can. I don't think we should. And I think that that's exactly what we as a city government do. What we do is we say, Sheriff, you handle it. And, that's unfair to the sheriff department. It's unfair to the affected community. I think that at least for me, these next 4 years are back, and I'm not going to hold anything. I'm not going to keep anything quiet. I thought that Mr. Thomas's shooting was, it affected me in a lot of ways, because I thought that was not the sheriff's problem. That was our problem. We do not have a procedure to educate people, to intervene when we know a problem's developing. We just let it grow.
Right.
And then we end up having a serious situation arise, not because of the sheriff's department, but because of our failure to act when we could do something. I don't know what happened in that living room, but I do know that it shouldn't have happened. And it shouldn't have happened because of our failing, not because of the sheriff's department's failures. And that's what I'm hoping to achieve with this, Fran, is I want us to find ways to do things that have never been done before. And you're right. I can't tell you what we're going to do because we don't know what we're going to do. I think we need to do that. I think we just need to support the things that work and quit doing the things that we know don't work.
That's right.
And that's what this group is all about. Thank you.
Thank you, and I am in agreement to support the sheriff. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
But I also want to, I made it clear to the group and be a part of something that is, let's create a better community where people are safer and can have a great start in the right direction. But I can understand why everybody is very suspicious of this.
And when you get finished.
This is not what's happening in other cities. This is totally unique.
One of the things that I think on my end, and myself and my friend Marvin, we've had many conversations on this. The equity side is an important side. And in order to discuss equity, you have to discuss, one of the things that I look at for equitableness is looking at like a tissue box. Everything is 3D. And whatever perspective you're looking at it from, you're actually correct. Whatever you see, whatever side you see on that tissue box, you are correct. The problem is when we're not rotating the box. And I think we've come to the point in America where we're all saying, let's rotate the box to make sure that we're looking at each other's perspective. And one of the things that I believe is very frustrating for groups like equitable groups or people that support cops, they tend to say, it tends to come across, in order for me to support a sheriff, I have to support everything that a sheriff does, as if to say that we don't have the right to have transparency or accountability. Telling somebody to be transparent and accountability is not saying I don't support you. All of us have to turn in 460s in the next week or so. That's for transparency. That's so that people see who we are, what we're doing, make sure that we are holding up the standard of our public office. I'm a pastor. I'm transparent with my finances in my church. Everyone that, and so we have to, I believe in this city, what I love about this city is we're good about facts. We're good about taking data and making sure that we don't allow people to change our narrative. And I am with Marvin, Chris. We want to do things to people to be. We have dealt with Mr. Coronado about an issue that's been going on between Blacks and Hispanics, and I jumped in it because, it's not just necessarily an issue with whites and Blacks or Blacks, that we don't be the spoiled child acting as if I don't see what everyone is talking about. So I love an equitable thing. I love anything that talks about making sure that we're fair. I'm all for everyone should eat at the table. Everybody should. And to me, equitableness is, yes, let everybody pull themselves up by the bootstraps, but let's make sure that everybody has boots. That's my issue. I want to make sure everybody has boots. Then it's a level playing field. So I'm all for a level playing field. And if it happens to be that my Hispanic brothers don't have a level playing field, let's get them the boots. Our Black brothers don't have it, let's get them the boots. If our data that shows that there is some inequities in certain parts of our society, and it happens to deal with color. And it is very blind of us to say there's not, and we have to turn that box and we have to look at it. So for our seniors, for our disabled, for our homosexual community, for our churches, for our and the level playing field, and there nobody can yell foul, but everybody has boots, and I like this type of thing.
Can't run in boots, Daryl.
I understand that, Marvin. You can march though.
One of the things that I'm looking forward to, and I think they're looking forward to also, that our city has an incredible ability to collect data and to analyze data that no other, and we think it's happening here. Well, with one of the things this commission is going to do is they're going to be able to look at the numbers. I mean, think about it. I mean, we have more African-American people in the city of Lancaster than any other city. Kidding, because it's easier to distribute to the counties, But now I think we're going to be looking at those things. I think one of the things we're going to find is just how good our sheriff's department is doing. When you look at the numbers and the proportion and the percentage of incidences based on those numbers, I think that you're going to find we're doing the department's doing an incredible job. I also think you're going to find they can do a better job. And that's what this is going to be designed at. And, you know, I guess what I'm saying is we're going to pull out the magnifying glass and we're going to look at all of this, make this a better place to live for everybody. I'm beating this to death. Can we vote now? Is there any other speakers?
No other speakers at this time.
Okay, so let's vote. Call the roll.
City Council Member Doris. City Council Member Doris, I think you're muted.
You got to vote, Daryl.
I didn't want to interrupt you and get scolded. Yes.
Molly.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris.
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes. Thank you. It passes unanimously. Moving on. The special election. So who's presenting that?
Allison, you want to present?
Do we have any public comments?
At this time, anyone wishing to speak on NB2? Caller with the last 46540. Please state your name.
My name is Warren Connor.
Hello.
You may begin.
Do you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Welcome. Yes, I just have a complaint. I don't know if I can speak that in this meeting or not.
Well, at the end of the meeting, we have public comment for anything, and it sounds like that's probably when you should deal with it. Okay.
Okay, let me do that. It's been very interesting so far, anyway. So I'll continue to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Comment on MB2, please press *9 at this time. No one else is.
Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt resolution number 20-40 and adopt resolution 20-41.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Raj Molly seconds it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's call the roll.
City Council Member Doris.
Yes.
Molly.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris.
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes, passes unanimously. Okay, that solves that. Let's go to council reports. What do we got?
The Antelope Valley Transit Authority is doing well. We did have to give the $20 million back to because SCAG wrote the split letter that said we had to give it back to Metro, which we still don't agree with, but we're moving on. Glad to report that he can help us back there, hopefully. And we have gone to what they call a Saturday schedule on AVTA, which is still operating. And the ridership is down approximately 65%. So it's alarming when you hear it's down 65%, but at the NCTC meeting the other day, we heard that Metrolink was down 95 buses on our local routes. We still have a few commuter buses, which are diesel, and we're still profitable at this time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Am I unmuted? I want to thank Marvin Chris for helping out with the Churches of the Valley being able to use the baseball stadium. That's been a great hit. I've talked to about 35, 40 churches myself that are going to be applying to use that. I get in a safe space and a safe spot. So I want to applaud the city for that for it right now.
Thank you, Daryl.
You know, let me echo that. Marvin, you have accomplished such incredible stuff. It's truly astonishing what you are able to make happen. And you just do it, you know, and you sort of let me know what you're doing. I I really, it would take a book to tell the people everything you do and have done to improve the quality of our lives. And you know, you irritate me at times, but I want you to know how much I love you. What you do for this city is truly remarkable. Thank you.
I love you guys too, and I love the city. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good. All right, I've got something. I'm going to have Tiffany Tanner address this in a moment. As you know, she's the deputy mayor, and I'm relying on her and Dr. Trong and Dr. Stocks to save us. And what the projections are is this thing is going to get a lot uglier before it gets better. And I am absolutely convinced that we cannot rely on others to save us. What has happened so far has been a failure. We bankrupted this country for a couple weeks reprieve, and that's all we got. We are in just as much danger today as we were 3 months ago. And it's because we mismanaged how to handle things. And so I've asked Tiffany and the doctors to get more aggressive, to figure out a plan to save as many lives as we can possibly save. And that's what she's going to talk to you about. It's going to cost some money, and it's involves testing, tracing. Heather has brought us Heather Varden to create our own path that I think at the end of the day
save our city better. So I did a lot of research, and what's well documented is that high volume testing of symptomatic and asymptomatic individuals has allowed the separation of positive people from the community. Labs have turnaround times for results is innumerable. In the state of California, we face the possibility, if the spread goes unchecked in any city, county, that everything will get shut down. Not just that people will get sick, but the dimmer switch will be turned back down and can to minimize the spread, which includes primarily increasing testing. We have acquired a test which is capable of running large volumes at a time, up to two tests a minute. It's an immunoassay or an antigen test, so it's not looking at the genetic material. Same day or next day appointments available, with results being made available within 4 to 24 hours. The increased capacity of rapid results of testing will allow us to decrease the community spread as we're able to more quickly pull people out of the community and put them into isolation even before symptoms may present themselves. The businesses in our city will also be able to better continue to operate safely, as they'll have increased access to testing for their employees. Workers who've been informed by their employer that they have to have negative testing before they can come back to work will be able to do so more quickly following their 14-day quarantine. Right now, as it stands, if somebody has to do a 14-day quarantine and then potentially even 4 weeks beyond the quarantine period before they can return to work, and that's just not livable for the people of Lancaster. In the last 10 days, we have seen 281 new cases. We've averaged 28 new cases per day, but since yesterday, we had 46 new cases. If we can't get better control of this situation, especially before the beginning of flu season, when things are bound to get worse, we're likely to end up with almost twice as many deaths as we're currently experiencing. And, even one more is too many. In the past 10 days, we've had 4 deaths from COVID-19 in Lancaster. And overall, we're at a 1.4% death rate. Los Angeles County is at a 2.5% death rate. And so that would mean we would have seen closer to 7 or more deaths in the past 10 days. With the increased testing, not only will we keep people at work and minimize the spread, minimize the number of people that have to suffer from it during this really unknown, uncomfortable time that we're all going through. High capacity, quick turnaround testing is the best way to overcome a pandemic, and the program will be under the fear and threat of this virus. There are tests, and the distributor is working on getting them to us. Are there any questions, concerns?
Okay, can you tell us how much they are, when they're going to be here? What's the turnover with them?
The turnover. So how much they are, the cost for the test, for each individual test is the cost of PPE as well as other supplies and staffing. When they will arrive is not completely certain. Which was a FEMA type order. Everything got postponed momentarily, but things are moving again now. And so I've been assured that we will have at least that very first shipment by Monday. And then the turnaround, not quite sure what you were speaking of.
Well, you said it's a 20-minute test, and yes. You said that hopefully we can get it done by that day or the next day.
Yes.
Is that
so? The test itself, it works a couple of ways. Really the recording of the results and uploading it to the internet-based electronic health record so that individuals can get their results themselves. And then we will have a follow-up team of volunteers. Andrew Noga is already organizing them, and they will make phone calls to all of the positive individuals to let them know that they were positive. We will also be submitting reports to county as that's a requirement.
Cost?
I'm sorry?
The cost?
So the cost for each test is $23.
No, what is the total cost for the equipment and the test?
Total cost for the entire program, we have not finalized yet, unfortunately, because we don't have all of the PPE costs yet. 2 seconds. 1 moment. I'm sorry. In order to obtain the analyzers, they're not selling them at the moment because there's such a large need. And so you actually obtain the analyzers by purchasing influenza swabs, which will be helpful come October when flu season starts. And there's increased respiratory illness that needs to be differentiated between influenza versus COVID-19. And so in agreeing to purchase 500 influenza tests, for each batch of 500, we will receive 1 analyzer. And so the city will be receiving 3 analyzers as soon as they become available.
Okay, but we don't know when.
We don't know when.
Okay.
4 to 6 weeks is the time frame I was given. The city currently has 1 analyzer.
Did you say it's $23 or $75 for the cost of the test?
So the cost to the city for the test kit is $23 each test kit.
So 75 is going to get cost, right?
To the entire community, or just Lancaster, or Lancaster until we get more analyzers?
Well, even with this, we're not going to. Can somebody mute who needs to? Who's feeding back? Okay. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah,
I was asking in regard
how we make the testing available. It's going to be determined by capacity.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is that whenever you have a suspected case, And it doesn't have to have a lot of symptoms, because I think that's where it's falling down. You know, like Tiffany had it. Tiffany has COVID-19. She's been in agony the past week, and she's still doing this. To be young again. I'd be dead already. So would you, Marvin. You too, Ken. Not sure about you, Daryl. Raj, you're okay. So we have to, follow the protocols as to how we make it available. But the idea is to keep the workforce going. The moment it's a suspected thing, we can test them.
I agree. I just want to know who it's going to be available to, and have we reached out to Palmdale to participate with us?
We have not reached out to Palmdale. I couldn't get the Palmdale mayor to wear a mask, so I'm kind of frustrated with that. But if they want to participate with us, they certainly are. After Lancaster's taken care of, we will take care of the entire Antelope Valley. But let's be clear about it. I stay awake at night because I want to keep Lancaster safe, and so do you. If we have capacity to do the rest of the valley, we will. And I understand that this is not something cities normally do. And there are 87 cities in this county that are relying on the County of Los Angeles to take care of them. We are not going to do that. Creative and follows what other cities have done that have been successful. And yes, it will require some sacrifice. And it will require us to learn things we never thought we would have to learn. This is sort of like the issue with social equity. The sheriff department took care of that. The public health takes care of this. Well, it's hit us in the face that we have to take care of ourselves. And we shouldn't be surprised. Our mother told us that when we were 5. I don't know why we're surprised, but that's what we're going to do. If you all agree. But the reason I'm having this discussion is not because of you guys, because the staff, I want the staff to clearly understand the direction of this council. We want our city to save as many lives as possible. So far, we're doing a pretty good job, but we're still losing people every day. I think that this is 2020. We have the science. We have incredibly brilliant people in this community, and we've got a workforce that works with us. The aircraft industry has been incredible. And yeah, to protect the city, we're going to have to do Northrop. We're going to have to do Boeing. We're going to have to do Virgin Galactic. We're going to have to reach out beyond the borders, but with the goal of protecting what's in the borders is how I see this coming to play. We're reaching out to the other medical professionals to see if they're able to help us do this. But let's make it absolutely clear. If they are not, our staff has to figure out how to do it without them. I'm assuming you guys agree with me. But I am not going to look back at this event, at this pandemic, and think there was one stone we left unturned. The consequences are just too great. Does anybody disagree with what I'm saying?
I don't disagree, Rex, but I do think that we need to know some more information on it when it becomes available. Is the actual cost of it? Do we need more equipment? Is it how much can we afford to do? Do we need 4 analyzers? Do we need 10 analyzers? And then the cost does have a bearing on it of just how much we can protect just everybody. So I'm not for not unturning those stones. I'm for making sure that we have a place to come back home to.
I don't think that there's going to be any cost in the final analysis because, you know, we're charging for the tests. People who can't afford the tests will take care of it, but everybody else, they got to pay market rate. The market rate is pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, what do you got, Tiffany?
So we figured, Vice Mayor, we figured into the cost of $75, that price tag, to cover the PPE and the personnel and the test, so that ideally at the end of the day, whenever that end of that day happens and we're through this, or at least through the very worst of it, it won't end up costing the city anything. Now that's an ideal world, and it will cost us something up front, I promise. But at the $23 price point for the city's cost per test, plus the PPE, it works out. It should just about break even. Very, very close.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the final cost because I think that's going to be controlled. There is an upfront cost. What I'm concerned about is that this is not something cities normally do. And so there's a reluctance and there's a fear, like, are we going to fall off the cliff doing this? You know, I mean, that's what happens whenever we do something we've never done before. We have those fears. But in 10 days, this has to be up and running, Tiffany. Okay? We have to have it up and running. I want that volunteer base put together so that we can contact people when they get it. I mean, the only reason Tiffany got tested is because she was connected. But let's be honest about it. If she wasn't the deputy mayor, she wouldn't have been tested till several days later. How many people would she have infected if we followed county protocols? You know, she could have, I mean, look what she does. She sees sick people. She could have killed 100 people by the time it came about. And it should not be a situation that you get tested because of who you know. It should be you get tested because there's a possibility you could be infecting other people. And we're going to fix that.
Rex, it took us 14 days to get our drivers tested at ABTA.
That is insanity. That is how many people do they infect during that 14 days?
Well, I agree.
You know, and that's how we're going to prioritize it. You know, people that are essential or whatever you want to call them. But the grocery clerks have to be tested when they need to be tested. Anybody that has a lot of contact with people, it almost should be on demand. And Tiffany understands that, and so do the doctors, and they're putting together a program that, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be new territory, but dive in that pool. I do not want to be responsible for one more person dying because we failed to act, and I know you don't either. So, Tiffany, it's on you.
And I hope you feel better.
I am finally starting to feel like a human, so this is good.
Good.
Thank you, Mayor.
You look a lot better than the last time we saw you.
Thanks.
Okay, that's all I have. Let's see. Let's get back on the agenda.
Our assemblyman just recovered from COVID. Tom Lackey.
You know, the concern that they're having is this creates a lot of damage, and it's not like you got the flu and got better. Right. It's far worse than we recognize. It's going to be interesting to see what our you know, they have those tables, what longevity, you know, that tells us how long we're going to live, you know, on average. Mortality tables is going to be interesting to see what they look like, you know, 5 years from now. Okay. Anybody else got anything else? Flip it to Jason, city manager.
Yes, sir. Quick couple updates. As you guys know, we're doing the rebranding process. So we invite the community. The survey is on the or out in the web, so they can go to our Facebook page, download that survey, take a survey. Your opinion matters as relates to how we're rebranding. This has been a conversation we've had about as it relates to, and we've done some preliminary interviews with people, some focus groups. Now we're going to a broad survey. We've already had about 1,300 respondents, so that's huge. We obviously want to get a bunch more. So take the time to invest. Give us your opinion on what that brand looks like and what the logo is going to be, and the tagline. So we appreciate everybody's insight into that. And also take advantage of our dining outdoor program. You can see around town that many people are putting up their tents, open it up. So we've been working with those vendors or those restaurants to help them open up and get back and running. So as a community, remember to get out there and support your local businesses. Do it while wearing a mask. Do it while social distancing, of course. And as you've seen a lot of our communication strategy, it is truly a balance between opening an economy and following the rules associated with opening that economy. We have to be disciplined as a community, and our messaging is strong that way. We continue to look to our social media sites to understand that wearing a mask is important, and social distancing is important. At the same token, living your life is important as well. But we have a greater opportunity to live our life freely if we follow those rules and help out our community. So just a note to that. And for those businesses that are out there listening, and we also have our number of our operations up and running to get you back open, get those PPE you need, as well as the sanitizers and things to help you open up your businesses. So come our way. Operation Jumpstart, just a real quick report. We've sold 1,800 cars since the beginning of the Operation Jumpstart. So that's a huge number, and from an economic standpoint, they're moving forward and selling cars. So we encourage everybody, again, that's a $500 rebate if you buy a car. You get that card to spend locally. Hopefully go to those restaurants, go to those businesses that are reopening, spend those dollars locally, and also get yourself a new ride if you're able to do that in this economy. But it's been a response from that program. So salute to the council for approving that. A couple of projects. We've finished the Armagosa drainage project fencing. You've seen that block wall there at the boulevard and the drainage system. What a difference it makes, right? This is a focus on beautification of our community. There's a lot of other things coming along like that, from improvements to the landscape maintenance districts, as well as a number of different parks improvements like you've seen at Jane Reynolds. So that's just one of the components of the beautification effort. And as you drive the freeway now, it's a much different look than it was before. So, kudos to our capital staff. The trail enhancement at Prime Desert Woodland is completed. Go out there and walk around, check out those animals and birds and all that good stuff. Gap closures at Kate and Prime Desert Woodland are underway. Safe routes to schools at 5 elementary schools coming. Avenue I, street improvements between Price Lane and 35th Street. All those stuff is coming forward. So we continue to fight forward with a lot of those capital projects, those road programs, and improving our assets and our infrastructure. The cooling center is open at MOA. So keep an eye out for our social media. Keep an eye out for what's going on there. It's going to start getting hot. Obviously, this is a hot period of time. If you need a place to cool down, MOA is that spot for you. The air conditioning's on. There's some activities there for you to participate in as well. And with that, I'll turn it over. If there's any questions, be happy to answer them. If not, we're proud of the team and the effort we're doing as a city staff, and working forward and working hard for you guys in the community. So that's it.
It's amazing that in the midst of all this, you're still getting all this other stuff done. You got an incredible staff, Jason.
Yeah, we work with great people. The side note too is that we're still getting a lot of that development coming in. So from the planning section and our planning department, we haven't seen a slowdown in some of the construction and development stuff. So that's a good sign. I think if we get through this sooner than later, it's going to be upwards for us. So it's good.
Jason, do we have any facts in regards to, from the cross-sell reports with the auto dealers, how many pump-ins that they have?
I don't know if we get those cross sales. I'm sure we can work with somebody who does and do that calculation, but I don't have those numbers available.
My understanding is we have at least 2, maybe 3 of the car dealers having record sales because of it.
Well, I drove through there today. I kind of keep an eye out for the inventory. And you look at the inventory, there was a time when you drove through there and that place was packed with inventory. It looks like I don't want to say they're short on inventory, go buy a car, but they're moving through product pretty well, it looks like.
They are.
It was a great idea. Who came up with that idea?
Marvin.
I know.
I hate giving him credit. It hurts.
All right, good. Jason, well, I got you here. One of the problems we're having with the COVID-19 is people coming out of the jails. I mean, the jails, everybody knows, is a breeding ground for this. We have somebody, we have we're able to provide the jail with all the masks they need, but there's nobody to take them. I need the city to reach into the sheriff's department and find out why we can't take care of that, so that everybody in the jail has a mask that changes when they get, they don't last forever.
You have somebody to donate masks and you're looking for a contact for them to get the mask too?
No, I'm looking for us to reach in and get acceptance of those masks, because right now they can't take them. There's some bureaucratic nonsense that keeps them from taking it.
Okay.
But I'm thinking that if we put the city's weight behind it and we get the supervisors, I mean, we all know that there's this fight going on with the supervisors and the sheriff, but we still need to put masks on people. So if you could undertake that.
Yeah, I'll work with Terry and Todd to see what they got going on.
Yeah, we'll look into it tomorrow.
Okay, but I mean, I'm literally talking about thousands of masks are available. We can deliver them tomorrow. There's no reason why we should have any inmate that doesn't have a mask on if he's around other inmates. And maybe we could put a stop to this in the jails.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I'll check it tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, we got anything else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Public business.
We do after public business.
You're right. We have a closed session.
We do.
Did you get sued again, Allison?
This is not for a lawsuit.
Okay. Okay.
But first, we need to do public comments.
Right. Andrea, could you do your thing?
At this time, anyone wishing to comment on non-agendized items, please press *9. I will announce the last four of your call-in number when it is your turn to speak. Please state your name and eliminate any background noise. You are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits council from taking any action on items not listed on the agenda. Please press *9 at this time. Caller with the last four, 0799. Please state your name.
That's you. My name is Jodelle Edwards.
You may begin.
Good evening, Lancaster City Council members and Mayor RX Paris. My name is Jodelle Edwards. I'm a local beauty business owner of J Swan Studios and Spa. I'm joined on this call with Susie Ritchie from New Wave Salon and Valerie Orchid from Bella West. I'm reading this letter on behalf of several owners of local salons, spas, and barbershops in the Antelope Valley who've become united and resolved to challenge this latest shutdown on Monday, July 27th, 2020, with a local meeting. We have several points of concerns with the recent stay-at-home orders issued by the state on July 13th, 2020, with no end date. Together with neighboring cities, Palmdale and Santa Clarita, our local industry has collected its own data based on health screening as directed by the state in order to perform services safely. Our collective data indicates that we are not the cause of recent COVID-19. With new rules and regulations and protocols, which was mandated by the state of California, that we as an industry have strictly followed, we should have never been included in these closures. As the state issued new guidelines by Governor Newsom and the state of barbering and cosmetology to move our operations outside, limiting us to only haircut services, this act primarily favors barbershops and male clientele. The guidelines and the outdoor protocols have become more discriminatory for salon clientele and technicians who are more frequented by the community for services they cannot perform for themselves. Salon services generate income for the beauty industry technicians that they rely on for their business and their livelihood. Furthermore, the extreme environment of the Antelope Valley could potentially jeopardize our community, clientele, and technicians' health and well-being. We are requesting your support with letters of recommendation to reopening the beauty industry, salons, barbershops, nails, spa, massage, and estheticians as essential businesses so that we may continue to provide a safe, clean, controlled environment to perform our services to our community. In addition, we would like to request for our city to work together with neighboring cities, Palmdale and Santa Clarita, and officials to continue to move our region to be excluded from further LA County orders. We are different demographic and should therefore be subject to different guidelines. And as a side note, I'd like to finish with asking for support on how to get the information in which LA County decided that we were deemed non-essential and where the information came from that our industry was shut down. We want transparency. We are also asking for support as we work toward the following goals of deeming our industry as essential and plan to reopen by mid-August with these respectful efforts. On behalf of myself, our local beauty owners, thank you for allowing us time to speak.
Paula with the last four.
Hold on. I agree with her. I absolutely agree with her. I think that if the CDC, they came out with that study. If people wear their gloves, I mean, the cosmetologist is wearing gloves and changes them with each customer, and everybody's wearing masks. I don't see any. I think she's absolutely right. I wonder about. I don't know that I would get a massage during COVID-19, but the rest of it, I mean, I get my hair cut. She wears a mask. I wear a mask. But I don't know what to do. I mean, I'll certainly sign the letter, and I'm sure you guys will too. And, Allison is usually able to work magic legally and has given me ways to get around the governor. But I don't know how to get around this one. But yeah, we will work with Santa Clarita and Palmdale and trying to get an exception, but I don't see that happening. And the reason I don't see it happening is because I don't see a lot of difference between doing somebody's hair in Los Angeles and doing somebody's hair here. I just don't see the difference. So I don't know that it'll be successful, but I'm willing to jump in and do whatever we can simply because I think you should be able to do it. You just have to do it rationally and intelligently.
Rex, what would happen if we offered them the ability to test every week and offered them at the city's cost?
We are not agendized, remember?
I'm not saying, I'm asking a question. So we're not.
How's that for lawyering it up, Allison? I think we need to look into that. There's certainly a way for them to safely do this.
My point is we can offer them something the LA Basin does not have, especially with the new testing.
Yeah, and I think that, and I don't know that every 2 weeks is adequate. I think we might be looking at every 3 days. But whatever it takes. I'm sorry, what?
Hi, this is Dr. Jonathan Trong. Maybe I could weigh in on this.
Oh, great.
So the CDC published a paper, a survey that they found in Missouri. There were 2 hairdressers who saw 135 customers, and those 2 wore mask and wore PPE, wore masks basically, and their customers, the majority of them wore masks, and some didn't. And after those 2 hairdressers became infected, they went back and contacted everyone involved, and none of the 135 people that they contacted were infected. So it appears that wearing masks, even with clothes within 6 feet, if you're wearing mask and you're asymptomatic, it appears to be safe, and hence that information came out. It is a good idea if we could offer testing on a regular basis to the workers and show that they are negative on that day. It is quite safe then to proceed and do the work. And that's what we do now with surgery. When our patients are about to go into elective surgery, we test them 72 hours ahead of time and then ask them to stay in quarantine until their surgery. But that's because we have a shortage of tests. If we are able to test everyone, all the workers on a daily basis, and they're negative before they start their shift, then I think it would still be safe. So that's, and I'm doing this to, I'm speaking so that we could help our, our industry, because a negative test is what you need to show that you don't have the infection. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Trung. Okay, I mean, let's do whatever we have to do. We should be coordinating with Catherine Barter's office. And I mean, if we have a aggressive testing program, then I think we should be given the exception. I mean, why should we be treated by the same as people who are not approaching this in a more serious fashion? But we're dealing with the state too, so good luck. But yeah, we'll do whatever we have to do, whatever we can do. Can you tell I'm frustrated? I mean, they canceled 4th of July, for heaven's sakes. And we have the lowest mortality rate of any city out there. I mean, maybe they ought to start listening to Dr. Trung. He seems to know what he's talking about. Instead they're listening to people that maybe I mean, at what point do you recognize that people failed and you need new people? Okay, I could rant all day, couldn't I? Who else we got?
Caller with the last 46540. Please state your name. Caller with the last 46540. Please state your name.
65. Do you hear me?
I can. You may begin.
Yeah, I'm 6557. Can I speak my issue?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is just, I just want to make a comment and then go into my problem. It's minor compared to everybody else's. I moved to Lancaster. I think I live in an ideal neighborhood. I'm on H5 and Transfarger, meaning I got about me and my wife. I'm Irish. My mom's not from this country. My wife is Chinese. There's about 4 or 5 African Americans or Black Americans here. We got Hispanics here. This is, to me, is the ideal neighborhood that I live in. So I really think this is the dream that America should look like. So I want to make that positive note. Now I want to go into my complaint. I got a simple problem. I got a sweeping ticket on the 13th of July. And what I did was I thought that I heard on Channel 28 that they weren't giving out tickets, and a board member was saying that. So I went ahead and called the 800 number on the ticket, and they told me, no, that's not true. So I went ahead and sent my ticket in. Then I heard it 2 days later on the 16th or 17th of July on Channel 28. The same gentleman who is in the city of Lancaster, the council member. So I went ahead and went into the city and talked to a lady there about that, and they said they put out on the 6th that they were ticketing again, which I didn't get that information. So I waited for a day or so to get my check returned, after they cashed it and went back. They gave me some paperwork to go ahead and submit, which I did. But I just want them to know that the council member he might not know that what he's putting out, people are probably still parking wrong and getting tickets because they don't know. They're only going by what he's saying. So I don't know if that problem's been corrected.
I'm just dying to ask.
Wasn't me.
Jason, would you make certain that he gets his refund on this?
Yeah, we can take care of that. We'll also verify oh, sorry, my camera's not on. We'll also verify if we have any communications out there that got missed. If we're telling the right story, we'll make sure we're telling the right story.
Or if there's some old footage out there that's still looping.
Okay.
Yeah, if someone said, "Hey, good job," I mean, the citizen, run and do that. But I did it for selfish reasons. I'm not here saying I did it for good reasons, but I mean, I did partly. I mean, I did it for my own self. I've never got a parking ticket, and I'm 60 years old. The last speeding ticket I got was in 1993. So, it doesn't mean, when you deserve something, you deserve it. It was my truck, and all that. I mean, but when you don't deserve it, you should be able to bring it up and get it corrected. So I sent the paperwork in where she told me to. I don't know. I got copies of it. I don't know how you want me to, get a refund or go back down there or just wait.
No need to go back down there. I don't know how we get your name and information, but I can give you my email. Call into City Hall and ask for Jason Cottle.
Jason Cobb?
Cottle, C-A-U-D-L-E.
Okay. All right, Jason. Now, what are you in? What department would I ask for?
I'm the city manager, and I'll be able to handle it for you.
You muted, Rex.
All right. Thank you. I
think you got to
appreciate
send it to Daryl. Let him handle it because I suspect.
Was it I who said don't park and you could park free? Was it I, sir?
Excuse me?
Which council member was it that you saw saying it's okay to park anywhere?
I think it was either. I know it was either a black gentleman, well dressed, or it could have been Indian. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But he was very well dressed and well spoken.
It's one of the ones with the tan. Okay, I got you. Well, send it to Raj Molly. He'll pay it.
Okay, we're gonna move on now.
All right, thank you.
I can see the edge of the abyss here. Okay, thank you. We'll take care of that.
Oh Lord, I'm getting tickets out there.
We got anybody else?
No other callers at this time.
Okay, praise God.
Cut videos.
So Allison, isn't it?
Yes.
Go to you now.
Yes. At this time, the City Council will be going into closed session on agenda items CS 1 through 18. Technical staff, would you please send us to our breakout room? Please. Okay.
You should receive
You guys
something
might want
asking
to
you to
trust
join.
this, but I ain't trusting this.
I know.
Yeah, Andrea, just real quick, everybody. Andrea, can you clarify what you just said? So what do we have to do?
Momentarily, you should receive, I'm going to assign you to the room, and you should receive something asking you to join. Just
Okay.
On the screen?
Yeah, momentarily. Okay.
Hey, no. Give me another.
I don't have anything yet.
Okay, you know where to go in the back. All right.
Daryl, you need to mute.
Sorry.
All right. You still didn't receive it?
No. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
And we're back. Did anybody actually wait for us? Nope. Okay.
Nobody waited, huh?
Mr. Mayor, can I make my announcement?
You can. Thank you.
Yes. In closed session, the council took up agenda item number 13 and gave direction to staff and legal counsel. No reportable action.
Okay. Do we have anything from the city manager?
He already gave his report. We just need to adjourn.
Mayor, we're just ready for adjournment.
Okay, good. The next meeting is scheduled Tuesday, August 11th, 2020 at 5 p.m. We are adjourned. Thank you for your.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.